Today I'm going to share with you 10 free 3D models from iconic movies that every movie fan should print. Movies have always been a huge source of inspiration for us, and after watching a good one, we like to create something memorable, whether it's a character figure, a magic artifacts, a mini diorama, or even a cool accessory. Fans all over the world create these 3D models and generously share them online, often for free. So a huge shout out to them! We went through thousands of models and picked the best ones, so there's something for everyone. Let's get started! First up, who doesn't love Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy? He is not just any alien tree character, he is a symbol of friendship and sacrifice. Remember that heartwarming moment when he says, "We are Groot"? I mean, come on, how could we not get emotional? For our pick, we didn't just go with a regular Groot figure. We choose a planter, a super practical item you can actually use. You can plant your favorite green friend and the leaves will look like Groot's hair. Just make sure to pick the right size for your plant. If you are going big, use FDM printing and any plastic. After printing, give him some paint love. Brown and green tones with matte finishes are perfect, and make those eyes glossy with some nail polish resin. We printed a tiny Groot for our hamster's favorite herb. What would you plant in yours? Let me know in the comments.
Next, let's talk about something a bit more intense, the Death Star from Star Wars. It's the most massive spaceship in movie history, capable of blowing up entire planets. A 160-kilometer wide station with enough firepower to destroy worlds. For the original movie back in the 70s, they actually built a model that was 1.5 meters in diameter. And now, thanks to 3D printing, you can print your own Death Star, choosing any size you want. For FDM printers, I recommend printing two halves and then gluing them together. Painting is easy, just spray it with grey paint, matte finish, and you are good to go. We went with black metallic paint to make ours even more menacing. Go wild and make it into a lamp. Hollow out the model, leave thin walls and pop in an LED light. Boom! You've got a glowing space station. By the way, in 2013 there was an actual discussion in the US about building a real Death Star. An online petition for it gathered 26,000 signatures. However, the Obama administration rejected it, stating that it would cost $850 quadrillion US, and the administration does not support the idea of blowing up other planets.
Next, something a little more mystical, Kodama Spirits from Princess Mononoke, my favorite Hayao Miyazaki film. The spirits come from Japanese legends and represent tree guardians appearing in thriving forests, but living dying ones. If a Kodama's tree is cut down, it's said to bring bad luck to humanity. After the release of Princess Mononoke, the Kodama forest spirits became super popular and started showing up as decorative souvenirs. Now anyone with a 3D printer can make their own little forest spirit in just a couple of hours. The best part? They are super easy to print and finish. The models is super simple. You can print it on any 3D printer. It's a perfect beginning project for anyone new to 3D printing. And the only painting you'll need to do is on the ice, which takes about 3 minutes. We turned out Kodama into a little lamp. We printed it with white plastic, 1 mm thick walls, popped a mini string of lights inside, and set it on a little tree stump. Oops, it looks like someone chopped down a big tree where the Kodamas lived. Seriously though, time to think about nature, people!
Remember the beginning of Indiana Jones? The classic scene where Indy snatches the golden Fertility Idol. While it's made up for the movie, the design is inspired by real artifacts from Central and South America. These statues, often representing fertility, would highlight features like the belly or chest, symbolizing life and growth. People believed they could help with good harvests or having kids. The model is pretty big, about 7 inches tall, so we printed it on an FDM printer using regular PLA plastic. To avoid support structures, we split it into 2 parts and glued them together. For a smooth finish, we coated it with UV resin and then added some patina to give it that real golden look. But you can also just use the gold spray paint for a similar effect. Want to bring some prosperity to your home? Print this idol and put it in a special spot, and don't forget to set up some traps just in case the treasure hunting friends come over.
The galaxy is on Orion's belt. While everyone is running around the universe looking for it, the galaxy is just chilling on the collar of the cute ginger cat named Orion. In Men in Black, all sorts of alien races are hunting down this tiny galaxy because it holds immense power, affecting the balance of the universe. It's a cool twist that the whole galaxy fits into a little marble-sized ball, and it raises some big questions about how even the small things can have cosmic importance. And that final scene, it really hits you. Our entire galaxy might just be a piece on some giant's game board. What to join the game and get your own galaxy? Go ahead and download this model. Print the body on a resin printer, spray it with a chrome effect paint, and for the ball, use one of those you can find on Chinese online marketplaces or Etsy.com. Sure, you could print it, but you won't get that galaxy effect as easily. Add an LED to make it glow, and boom, you've got your own tiny universe. Hang it on your keys, in your car, or like in the movie, around your cat's neck. Let your cat rule the world, as if they don't already.
What if immortality could end? Puss in Boots 2 brings a powerful lesson about living life fully, because we only get one shot. And it's Death, with all his terrifying strength, who helps keep us on the right path. Remember that scene? What's the matter? Did all your lives flash before your eyes? In the movie, Death takes the form of a menacing yet oddly charming wolf. He is both a warrior and a philosopher, both villain and teacher. The way he whistles when he appears seriously gives you chills. I was so moved by this character, I even got a tattoo that says "Live your life, live it well." Print yourself a wolf figure to remind you of this simple truth. The model is free, which is awesome because figures with this much detail usually cost around $10 to $100. You'll need to print it all in one piece, but at least you won't need to glue anything. For best results, use an airbrush to paint it, or just a regular brush if that's your style. Print it with any resin and color, and if you go big, remember to hollow it out so the resin can drain properly.
In The Mask, starring Jim Carrey, the magical wooden mask gives its wearer crazy powers, transforming them into an eccentric, over-the-top character. When Stanley Ipkiss puts it on, his personality totally flips, letting him live out all his wildest desires. In the story, the mask is connected to Loki, the Norse god of mischief and trickery. In the movie, he is described as the one who created the mask to spread chaos. In Norse mythology, Loki is often portrayed as a trickster who uses deception and the magic to cause disorder, which ties in with how the mask changes its wearer's behavior. You might know Loki from Marvel's films and comics, but he isn't exactly the same Loki from the myths. The writers made several adjustments to his character and backstory to fit the superhero world better. The 3D model is a spot-on replica, complete with wood texture, which conveniently hides the layer lines from FDM printing. The mask is ready to paint right out of the printer. No extra smoothing needed. We printed it upside down to reduce the need for supports. It's about 9 inches tall, so make sure your printer can handle that size. You can paint it however you like. Spray paint, airbrush, or even pastels. I used a mix of brush and pastels for a unique finish. The mask doesn't need any straps or mounts because it's meant to sit proudly on your shelf. When guests see it, they'll probably grab it, put it on, and mimic Jim Carrey from the movie. Play along, laugh with them, even if it's the 25th time.
What's the most popular cosplay accessory after a regular sword? A lightsaber, of course, straight out of Star Wars. People make them out of all kinds of materials and come up with amazing designs, all trying to get that perfect glowing effect. The glowing technology actually changed over time in the movies. In the earlier films, the actors held heat props with shiny rods attached. The glow was added later by using a process called rotoscoping, where artists would trace over every single frame. But the downside was they couldn't add reflections of the light onto surrounding objects, so it didn't look super realistic. In the newer trilogy and beyond, actors had tubes that were later replaced with the signature laser glow during post-production. Fans usually grab a transparent tube and stick an LED strip inside. You can control it with buttons, a remote, or even from your smartphone. Some creative builders even manage to add the iconic sound when the blade moves. No matter how you make the glowing part, you'll need a handle. This 3D model is perfect for that. It's made up of several pieces and it's easy to assemble after painting. The model creator suggests a chrome plating technique for a super realistic finish. But you can also use a regular acrylic paint or metallic spray cans for that metallic effect. And don't forget to add a protective coat to keep it looking sharp.
What would you choose, the red pill or the blue pill, the harsh truth or the beautiful illusion? The biggest decision of your life is made sitting in this chair. It's a leather Chesterfield, a style often associated with 19th century British design. The luxurious and classic look contrasts with the gritty, mechanized world and resonates with the clash between humans and machines. The elegant design and size of the chair really highlight Morpheus' authority. At the same time, it looks so comfy, adding to his calm and confident presence. Now, getting a full-size chair like this? That's pretty unlikely, unless you stumble upon in a British antique shop for a huge price. So, how about printing a mini version with the free 3D model? We printed the main parts on an FDM printer and coated it with UV resin to smooth out the imperfections. Then we added a primer and hand-painted with a brush. The decorative elements and legs were printed on a resin printer for extra detail. You can keep the chair as it or use it as a stand for something valuable that deserves a place of honor. Or just throw 2 little pills on it and ask yourself the ultimate question every time you walk by.
And finally, the most challenging model for the most dedicated fans out there. At the end of the first Terminator movie, the heroes destroyed the robot from the future. But in the sequel, we learn that one of its hands survived. Scientists discovered it and gave it to Cyberdyne Systems, along with the chip that also survived. This hand becomes the foundation for developing of the artificial intelligence that eventually leads to Skynet, a system capable of starting a nuclear war against humanity. So, this artifact is literally the thing that brings about the apocalypse. It looks like a harmless gadget on the outside, but it's a threat to all humankind. And now you can have one at home. The model is made up of separate joints and mechanical parts. Each one will need to be printed, sanded, painted and then assembled. Besides the printed pieces, you'll need a tall glass container or tube of the right size, plus an LED strip or light to set in the base. I think the result will be well worth the effort. It's sure to catch the attention of your guests. And if they haven't seen the movie, you'll have the perfect chance to not only talk about it, but also dive into the dangers of AI development.
There you have it. There are the 3D models we picked for serious movie fans. What would you print right now? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. See you next time!